I got a jar of dirt, I got a jar of dirt, and guess what's inside it? Enough!
While filming Mystery Men, a crew member on the set threw a disposable lighter into a trash can, unaware that it was a prop that would later be set on fire. The lighter exploded during a take, resulting in a sudden burst of flame behind Paul Rubens, who then improvised the now famous line.
Excuse me.
In the movie Pirates of the Caribbean: Dead Men's Chest, the little song I've Got a Jar of Dirt was completely improvised by Johnny Depp. That's why the surprised reactions from the other actors are completely real.
I got a jar of dirt, I got a jar of dirt, and guess what's inside it? Enough!
Joe Pesci's now famous rant in Goodfellas was based on a story from his real life. He partially improvised the scene with Ray Liotta, while the other actors had no idea what they were in for.
I'm funny how? I mean funny like I'm a clown, I amuse you? I make you laugh? What do you mean funny? Funny how? How am I funny?
After spending the entirety of Dr. Strangelove sitting in a wheelchair and stifling Nazi salutes, Peter Sellers dropped this ad-lib as the perfect line to end the film. Marlon Brando showed up for Apocalypse Now very overweight and not knowing his lines. The end result is a lot of footage of Brando hidden in the darkness saying made-up nonsense like this.
I'm a soldier. You're neither. You're an errand boy, sent by grocery clerks.
This scene from Taxi Driver, where De Niro stands in front of the mirror practicing drawing his weapon, didn't have any written dialogue. Director Martin Scorsese told De Niro to improvise. So, De Niro started talking to himself, and that's how the famous line was created.
You talking to me? You talking to me? Who the fuck do you think you're talking to?
In one scene from the movie Weird Science, where Bill Paxton finds the kids trashed and one of them feeling queasy from the drinking, he says,
"How about a nice, greasy pork sandwich served in a dirty ashtray?"
Paxton revealed that his father used to say this to him and his brother when they'd been drinking too much. Bruce Willis was cast as John McClane in 1988's Die Hard and was allowed to throw in plenty of ad-libs, the most famous of which is, of course,
"Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker."
in the original script, the line read, "Yippee-ki-yay, asshole." Willis changed it simply in order to make the crew laugh and never expected it to make the finished movie. Instead, it became McClane's catchphrase, destined to be repeated in every Die Hard sequel.
"Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker."
The most famous shot in The Shining has Jack Nicholson breaking a door to pieces while grinding an axe as he slowly descends into madness. The famous line he says after showing his face through the hole is borrowed from the Johnny Carson show.
Here's Johnny!
I'm walking here! I'm walking here!
It may be one of the most frequently quoted lines in film history, but all the credit goes to Dustin Hoffman.
All right.
The actor was genuinely yelling at a car that tried to cut him off in the middle of shooting a scene for Midnight Cowboy.
I'm walking here! I'm walking here!
In True Romance, Bronson Pinchot's iconic phone booth line was improvised. He requested to actually have Saul Rubinek on the phone, and he really was having trouble hearing him.
You want me to suck his dick? Oh, who the fuck is Dick? Dick is he's my friend. He's in my acting class.
In the movie Scream, the scene where Billy throws the phone at Stu and hits him in the head was improvised. The phone was supposed to slip out of Billy's hands and miss Stu, but Skeet's hands were slippery from fake blood, and the phone accidentally hit Matthew.
Fucking hit me with the phone, Dick!
In Independence Day, they filmed Will Smith dragging an alien across the salt flats of Utah. Nobody warned him of the horrible smell that sometimes comes from the Great Salt Lake due to billions of dead brine shrimp each year.
And what the hell is that smell?
The director found it funny and left it in.
I could have been at a barbecue!
The script for Dumb and Dumber called for Harry and Lloyd to get on a hitman's nerves by arguing about jelly beans. But the actors Jim Carrey and Jeff Daniels thought it wasn't funny enough. So they got creative and came up with a much funnier idea. The now famous, most annoying sound in the world.
Want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
In Good Will Hunting, Robin Williams improvised a hilarious story about his wife during therapy, making Matt Damon crack up for real.
My wife used to fart when she was nervous.
She used to fart in her sleep.
Even the cameraman couldn't hold back laughter. You can actually see the camera shake a bit.
One night it was so loud it woke the dog up.
Even though Bill Paxton claims he is not good at improvising on the spot, he clearly is mistaken. A good portion of his lines throughout the Aliens movie were improvised and ad-libbed, and it led to incredibly iconic moments throughout the film.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over. What the fuck are we gonna do now?
In Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy, before shooting the milk scene, Will Ferrell was asked to pick his prop for the scene. He saw the milk and thought it was funny. After multiple takes in the hot LA sun, the milk started going bad, leading to this iconic line.
Milk was a bad choice.
Yes! 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 Oh! Oh, yes!
This iconic scene was actually an unscripted group effort. Director Rob Reiner felt the movie should share a secret about women and sex. Meg Ryan said she should act out the scene in a public place, and Billy Crystal was the one who came up with the line.
I'll have what she's having.
Warriors, come out to play.
This one is only half an ad-lib. Legend has it that David Patrick Kelly picked up a few old glass bottles on set, stuck them on his fingers, and started randomly chanting the line that eventually became the film's tagline.
Warriors, come out to play.
One of the great lines in The Empire Strikes Back was an ad-lib.
I love you.
I know.
While the script originally called for Han to respond to Leia with, "I love you too," the line felt wrong to Harrison Ford. He changed the line to, "I know," instead, and it is now considered one of the most romantic exchanges in film history.
I love you.
I know.
In Tootsie, Bill Murray was asked to improvise lines that make it seem like he'd been sitting at a table and talking all night, and that is exactly what he did, offering up some of the funniest lines in the movie.
I wish I had a theater that was only open when it rained.
The most memorable scene in Wolf of Wall Street might be the sequence in which Matthew McConaughey and Leonardo DiCaprio meet up for lunch in a restaurant and end up beating on one's chest. Believe it or not, that wasn't planned at all. Turns out, it's a funny warm-up ritual Matthew does to get ready for acting.
I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
Remember that creepy scene in The Silence of the Lambs where Hannibal Lecter tells Clarice Starling a chilling story? Well, it turns out it got even creepier during filming. Anthony Hopkins wanted to make the scene extra spooky for Jodie Foster, so he improvised a surprising little sound.
I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
In the movie Pretty Woman, Richard Gere played a prank on Julia Roberts during a scene where his character gives her a necklace. He unexpectedly snapped the jewelry box shut on her hand. Her surprised and genuine laughter made the scene so good, they kept it in the final movie. Peter Parker in the arms of Tony Stark sold the whole horrific ending of Infinity War. Apparently, the director just told Tom Holland to act like you don't want to go. He improvised the scene and made up his terrified last line.
I don't want to go. I don't want to go, sir, please. I don't want to go.
Jim Carrey improvised many of the funniest lines in Dumb and Dumber. For example, he didn't originally have a line when he was leaving the hotel bar, but he improvised by looking at the framed 1969 newspaper and saying,
No way. That's great.